Welcome back to PowerShell Electric once again. So this is part 2 of our tutorial. Actually, we're looking at sequential controlling 3 loads one at a go. We managed in the last part. We came up with this ladder logic program. If you don't know how we came about with this program, please, I shall request you visit the link in the description below so that you can cope up with how to come about with the DC ladder logic. So today we are going to see the HMI control part of it. So I request that we kick off straight away. So we are going to open our XP builder, the one that helps us to come up with this HMI project. So we are going to have new project. We are going to go to XGB CPU. It is XGB CPU just because previously in our ladder logic we had programmed for XGB CPU, but there is a variety of CPUs here, a variety of PLCs that you can develop. So we are going to select XGB CPU. You are going to go to communication settings. Then we are going to use PLC simulator, then also tick program monitor. So don't mind about the project name, we shall set that later. Then say OK. So this is the screen, our first screen where we put our control widgets. So me, I prefer a white background actually, so I go to screen property, go to background, use background color, select this foreground white and also background white, then you say OK. As far as the screen is concerned, I think that is only what I can configure there. So now developing the HMI, it depends on the ladder logic. So here we shall have to open it two at once. So we are going to put widgets. We shall have an emergency button, we shall have a start button, we shall have a stop button, then we shall have 3 loads, that is MC1, MC2 and MC3. That is only what we are going to program as for now, since these are just basics. So we shall go back to our XP builder. Let's first have a heading for formality. We shall have text widget, shall click, and can have sequential control. This is the font, you can select any font you want. This is font size, and put 28. This is color, you can select blue, you can make it bold, and I can say OK. So I shall resize the sequential control, something of the kind. Remember I told you here it is your graphics that matter. So the issue of being creative, I shall leave it to you. So we shall start with an emergency button. So I think here we can have a bit switch. Bit switch is the one which is 1 and 0, on off, on off. So we can have here a bit switch. So with this, the first box under basic, it is always the address, the tag, or call it tag. So we give it a tag or an address according to how we programmed in XG5000. So our emergency is P0000. So if you want it to communicate well with the PLC, I mean with the HMI, we also give it P00. As you know, initially it was 0, so we say OK. So it is P00. It is momentarily. Momentarily it means it acts as a push button. It is only on when you press, and when you release it is off. So we can go to display, as you see. But for the switch, no need of changing the display, but we can design a bit. come here to library. This one I can use a square button. Square button. Okay. So it will be the same color whether on, whether off. So we say okay. Hey, my mouth got a problem, so I can resize it a bit for better view. So that is our emergency. Then we can copy and paste this one, Control C and Control V. Then we double click on it to go to its properties. So here this is our stop switch, and start, and our start. Okay, let's make it a stop first. So our stop is P003. So when we come here, our stop, it is P03. Put in P3 and you say okay, the zeros come themselves. So it is also momentarily, it acts as a push button. So when we come to display, we can choose another style. This time we can have the round of it. You say okay. Okay, so that is the stop. Then we can also Control C and Control V to copy and paste. Then double click to go to the properties. Then now this one is our start. Our start P001. So we give it address here P1. Okay, it is also momentarily acts as a push button. When you come to display, here we can change the color. In both on mode and off mode remains the same color. So that is our start button. Let me space them a bit. So we can give them text to show what is what. So we can have here emergency. You can give here color red. Can give it size 20. Can make it bold. Yeah, the rest can go like that. You resize. Shall control and paste this very one. Then just change the text to stop. And say okay. Then Control C, Control V, copy and paste this very one. And just double click and change the text to start. I can also maybe change the color to suit the start button. It says start. Yeah. So those are our buttons. Remember, the key factor here is addressing. When you double click this one, it is P00. When you double click this one, it is P3. When you double click this one, it's P001. It is what we have been programming here. It is P00, P01 is start, P03 is stop. So now we are going to put our loads. So here we are going to use our bit lamps. We are going to use the lamps as indicators. So we shall have here a bit lamp. put that one. So now in our lamps we have address P20, P21 and P22. So now here the first one also we can give it P20. That's P20. Okay. Display, when it is on it's like this, when it is off it's like this. And can we change a bit? So when it is on, same image now. So let me choose a better one. Libraries, where, let me see all, and select this one. Say okay. So when it is on, it will be that one. Wagwan. This one is not fine. It's not fine. It's not fine. Let me choose another one. Say okay. Okay, so when it is off, it is going to be dull green. Let's see, on, off, on, off. Is there a distinction? I think yes. So we can say okay. So we resize it to be reasonable a bit. So when you double click, this is P20. I just Control C, Control V to copy and paste. So this one is P21. 21. Say okay. Move it down a bit. Control C, Control V. So double click. This is P22 now. P22. Hey. Say okay. You say okay. I think that is it. Then the other thing is, let's also identify them by text. Actually, let me cancel that one. Delete that one. I can just copy and paste this one. Control C, Control V. I bring it around here. Then I double click. Just call it MC1. I can change the color maybe to dark green. Say okay. Control C. Hey, Control Z. Control C, Control V. Just double click to change it to MC2. Say okay. Control C, Control V. Somewhere here. Then just right click and change it to MP3. Okay, so I think for the beginning, those are the basics. That is how we go with the widgets in HMI. So this is emergency, this is stop, this is start, this is our loads or indicators. This MC1, MC2, MP3. So I think we are ready to go by the simulation. So now let's do the simulation. Let's go back to XG5000. So to create some good interval of time, allow me change this to 30 milliseconds each timer. Just double click here, put 30. Double click here, put 30 milliseconds. Just want to have some reasonable interval between the switching of loads. So now we first simulate this one. Say okay. Alright, complete. So that is our monitoring window. So you come here at XP builder, we also simulate. Hey, you can't find simulator. You ignore that one, try again, work one, eliminate that one. Yeah, it is there. So we minimize this one, the builder, then also let's minimize this one. So we want to view what happens everywhere. I see. So I think now you can be seeing what happens here in the ladder logic and also what happens here on our HMI panel. So when you click start, you see MC1 goes on immediately, again MC2, then MC3. As it goes on here, it also goes on here. When you press stop, the last one goes off first, then the second one goes off, then the first one also goes off. So that is how it works. Then press start again, the first one first, the second one, the third one. So what happens when you press emergency, they just go off at once. Thanks for watching. Actually, the challenge you have is to try developing this circuit using real materials, contactors and relays, and see how hectic the thing is. But PLC simplifies everything. Actually, thanks for watching. We meet in the next video.